anytime there's chaos, what this does is it shifts people off their normal focus or normal pattern. And what happens is people just kind of get into a float mode or drift mode. They don't really have that creative mindset. They're not looking for progressive opportunities. They're not looking to move forward. So everybody's not trying to win at this moment. And when you're not in offensive mode, you're not thinking forward thinking. You're not thinking progressive thoughts. You're not looking for opportunities. So all you at best can do is kind of stall out where you're at. So what we want to do is look for the opportunities in the chaos because they're there. And the biggest opportunity I see right now is brokerages and teams. Go into kind of the tools needed to attract brokers and team leaders. So if you don't know what can help you leverage this play, then you're never going to use it. So some of you guys may know about these programs. Some of you guys may not. Let's kind of go through. So recently they added these incentive programs, and we're going to look at Boost, Thrive, and Accelerate. Then we're going to go through some of the main talking points to go through with brokers and team leaders and kind of how they think. And if you guys at the end want to open up, if you guys are brokers or team leaders or have brought some on, you can add into this as you like to. Now, if you want to find out more information about Boost, Thrive, and Accelerate, guys, go to your basic application onboarding link, the join.exprealty.com link, and it's at the bottom. You can scroll down there. And this is where you're going to go to submit if you have a team or brokerage that you think would be able to qualify for these programs. This is where you're going to go submit that information, okay? So the first thing is, what is Boost? So Boost is a financial incentive program created for culturally aligned independent brokerages to join our community. So we're just talking about brokerages here. We're not talking about teams. Now, right there in the middle, the NAR lawsuits are creating a climate of fear and difficulty to strive for independent brokerages that cannot fight the lawsuits for the next coming years. So what they're doing is trying to figure out what they want to do, right? Obviously, they're like, do I want to sit here and fight this? Do I want to continue on doing what I'm doing? Do I want to align with another company? Do I want to leave the industry? So there's a lot going on really fast, not just within our own company, within our own mindset, but outside of the industry and all the different types of brokerage models out there. Everybody's kind of trying to figure out what the future holds for them. And so what I want you guys to do is, if you've had these conversations, or if you've thought about having these conversations, down there at the bottom in the yellow, just reach out to these brokers or have your agents in your organization reach out to them. These could be friends, family members, cold market contacts, and just tell them that you want to take a look at the math with them, that you want to go through and look at all their operating expenses and see which ones that EXP could move over to the balance sheet on EXP's side that they don't have to pay for themselves going forward around their business. It's just going to start the math conversation. So when you're talking to a newer agent, guys, it really doesn't matter about the math because they haven't had a background in production. Now, when you're talking to a top producer, someone that's been in the business like an icon level agent, the math is even more important. When you're talking to team leaders and broker owners, it's a big math conversation. It's not just, looking at their production. They got agents in their business that have production. They may have team leaders with inside their business. They may have an office, all sorts of different expenses, all sorts of different things. So the main thing is we're just trying to get to the conversation with corporate and take a look at what they're doing behind the scenes and show them that they could move some of those expenses off the balance sheet, minimize the risk. And we're going to go into some of this stuff here in a little bit. Here's how you need to think about it. So for Boost, if you have brokerage, bring them to the growth team or bring them directly to your upline partner. Whoever you know above you is probably the best and most qualified to hop on call and talk to a broker with you. Now, what they're going to do for the Boost program, guys, is they're going to take a look at their last 12 months of production, as if they had been at EXP, what their revenue would have been what it would have been if they were at EXP, even though they're not currently right now. They're going to look at it as if it was. And then they're going to create a hypothetical payment that they're going to give to these brokerages or broker owners as they come over here. Now, what they're usually going to do is they're going to give them about 10% up front so that this can give them the money to make that transition window happen. They're going to transition their team over, so they're going to give them some up front, but they're going to track their business over the next 12 months. So let's say they had a roster of 100 agents coming over at the end of that 12-month window. They made them a hypothetical offer. Now the real offer is coming in to the finalized point. So let's say a brokerage had 100 agents. There's only 10 left versus 50 left versus all 100. They're going to make that final payment to them based off of the retained agents from the amount that came over when they looked at that original roster, if that makes sense a little bit. Okay. So essentially what they're going to do is you're going to get them to the growth team. They're going to look at their business, look at their previous revenue. They're going to make them an offer, give them some money up front, and then they're going to make them their final payment at the end of the term, depending on how many agents stay with them at the end of that 12-month window. Now, when it comes to the traction incentive programs for what we call Accelerate, simply put, they're just giving them their first 3 tiers open for the first 12 months. So as you guys know, to open up a tier, it takes 5 qualified agents to open up your second tier, 10 to open up your third tier. What this Accelerate program is going to do is for any agent joining EXP, this is for all agents, all 100% of them. They will have tiers 1 through 3 open for the next 12 months. Now, this is a big benefit for certain people because let's say someone's coming in and they bring in, one agent on their second tier, and that person brings in like 15 agents really quickly on their third tier. That means they're going to get compensated on these agents, even though normally they wouldn't have. So this is going to help agents make more money up front. And when people make more money, what do they want to do? They want to follow that momentum. They want to follow that winning streak. They want to make more money. So the faster people make money, the faster they want to work to make more money. The faster you close a deal, the faster you want to close another one, the faster you add an agent. So everything we're trying to do is help agents put more money in their pocket first or early on in their career to build that momentum. So when you're out there talking to agents, guys, let them know that they have this introductory window where they're going to get compensated on all agents on their first 3 tiers in full, no matter what, if they're qualified or not. So that's essentially what Accelerate is. And then for Thrive, guys, is very similar to Boost, but this is for teams. So think Boost for brokerages and Thrive for teams, T for T and B for B. Easiest way to think about it. Now, Thrive is very similar to the brokerage program of Boost, but what they're going to do is they're going to look at them, but this is for larger teams, not brokerages. And they have to qualify by having at least $40 million in production, 10 agents or more. But they're going to do a similar thing that they're going to do with Boost, which is they're going to look at them. They're going to come up with their past production numbers. They're going to come up with an offer for them, but this is not going to be as a dollar amount. This is going to be with a stock option offering for them. So they're going to give them a stock offering, and then they will have a 3-year vesting requirement to be able to vest and receive these shares. But they will look at their production, analyze their team, and they're going to give them a stock option offering. These are important, guys, when you're going to these conversations. And the main thing to do is just get them to the EXP growth team, and then they'll run those numbers for them from that point on. Now, there could be a lot of different variations in these types of brokerage, guys, but these are kind of the 4 main ones out there. You can see all sorts of hybrids and crossovers, but traditionally you're going to have a cap split model out there. So EXP is a cap split, but we're an independent. That's why I put cap split franchise or not. This could be a cap split model, but if you're franchise, you'd be more like a Keller Williams or something like that. So there's cap and a split, but it's a franchising system. So independent versus franchising. Then on the top right, you have 100% or flat fee shop models. These are business models that are going to give you 100% of your commission, but usually not much to go with it. They're not giving you a lot of tools, training, support systems, lead gen tools, and extra coaching and training, but that's why they can give you more of your commission. And then you have down there in the bottom left, that red one. If you guys are serious and really want to be intentful and you're taking time to look into people that you'd like to reach out to, the no cap model is going to be the best model to attract top producers from. So let's say someone's on like an 80-20 split at EXP, we have a $16,000 cap. But what if they're on a 90-10 split at a different brokerage, but they don't have a cap, but they're doing like $50 million in sales? One of the big things that we get caught on are sometimes numbers that lock our mindset up. But let's say you're at a 90-10 split versus an 80-20 split. They're relevant unless you look at one has a cap and one doesn't have a cap. Because if you're only paying 10% to brokerage, but you're paying it across like 40 to 50 million, you're paying substantially more into the brokerage than you are on an 80-20 split if you cap at ours at like a 2.66 million. So if you get to brokerages that don't have like icon programs and things like that, where their incentive is to give them more of their split, meaning they work up from a 70-30 to an 80-20 to 95-5 or something like that, you want to find the top producers at these companies and just say, can I run your math? Can I run the numbers of your production? You can even run the numbers for people by looking up their production on the internet and say, hey, I ran your numbers. It looks like you would have lost maybe $80,000 by not having your license at EXP last year, something like that. But you have to have the math to back it up. But a lot of the biggest agents we're bringing are from older school brokerages that have top producers that have a low split, meaning like a 95-5 or 90-10 split, but they don't have a cap, but they're doing big volume. Okay. And then the monthly fee model, similar to a flat fee model, but this is just a monthly fee model, access to the brokerage by paying them a monthly fee. Now, let's go through kind of some of the main talking points you want to kind of navigate through when you're talking to a broker owner or a team leader, especially broker owners here. So the first one is obviously risk mitigation. When they own the business, they own everything, including the risk and liability. So this is going to be a play for them to move over here to avoid legal risk. Some of you guys know Kyle Handy. He got sued big time. That's one of the big reasons he moved over here. A lot of these brokers that I know that move big businesses, they're tired of lawsuits. They're tired of the expense of it. They're tired of the emotional stress of it. And so this is kind of a conversation flow you want to kind of go around with a broker if you're talking to them. So one of the biggest reasons they're coming is for the avoidance of risk and the expense to do it and having the money to fight it. Most brokers, like right there in the middle, guys that you've looked at, you'll see their story came over here because of legal avoidance. And then not having to deal with this, guys, is just going to be a better work-life, family life environment for them in all sorts of ways. But right now, specifically with the NAR lawsuits, this is a big hot topic, right? Do you guys, if you're talking to a broker, do you have the money potentially to avoid what you're coming up against, right? So here's some sample questions that you could kind of go through in a conversation with them. Are you worried about the NAR lawsuits, how they may impact your business long-term? What's your plan with this? Have you looked at other options? Anything to do as far as questioning frameworks like that. How much stress, Mr. and Mrs. Broker owner, would you have if you didn't have to worry about being sued or your agents getting you in trouble or all these expenses? What if you could go to sleep at night and you just didn't even have to worry about it anymore? What if you could make equal to or more money, but avoid all the stress and headache and have bigger opportunities to scale long term? Okay. How fast can you scale without having to go through the legal setup process in different markets? So let's say Ben's a broker I'm talking to, and I say, hey, Ben, let's say one of your best friends or cousins or someone through social media has a brokerage in a different market and they want to partner with you. Could you even do that? How fast would you be able to set this up? Is there a full legal process? Do you even understand that process? Would you be scared you're going to make a mistake in that process? Or wouldn't it be easier to partner with a company like EXP where you could sign them up literally tomorrow and move an entire business over if you chose to? So you're helping them understand that there's limitations for scalability outside the local market, also risk and expenses that they may not have the ability to take care of. And then would it be a good thing or a bad thing to have less liability and spend less time, money, emotion on this part of your business? So you're wanting to think of loaded questions that obviously are going to redirect the conversation where you want, but focus on legitimate, real pain points and risk that they're taking on their business at the moment.